And it's a few days later and we got the motor out. Let me give you a walk around on what we got going on. We have the old motor out right here, new motor right there, getting ready to swap all the stuff over, crankshaft pulley, flywheel, or a flex plate, valve covers, motor mount, stuff like that, onto the new one. We got a pressure washer out because we are going to pressure wash and paint the power steering pump, the battery tray, and the crankshaft pulley. In here, we have no front end on the truck. Only thing left is the AC condenser because the AC system didn't get broken open and neither did the power steering system. We have manifolds that still need to come out. They need to get replaced. And then we're going to be doing some rust protectant all through the engine bay. So I'm going to pressure wash the engine bay today. And the rust stuff's coming tomorrow. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. Alright, thought I'd update you guys again. Got everything off of the old motor. Nothing left that we need except for a few bolts just in there to remind me where they go. Only thing left to clean is the oil pan. And then tomorrow we're going to start assembling everything on in the motor. And we're back with another update. We have most of the motor dressed up. Everything up top's done. We have new knock sensors, new wiring, taped off the intake. We put in some high performance roller rockers, still 1:7 ratio. I will put a picture up on screen what we ended up putting in. Need the harmonic balancer on the front. That's all that's missing there. Taped off the exhaust manifolds. We got the flex plate on. We got all new sensors back here. We got the motor mount on this side, valve cover. Only thing we are missing is an oil pan because ours is disgusting and I spent too much time cleaning it to the point where the customer just says let's just buy a new one. So we have a new one on order. As soon as that's done, this motor is ready to drop in the engine bay, and the engine bay is ready. So let's go take a look at that. Not much changed in here. I do have to remove this one dowel pin. So I was using a torch, so I put some tape over the fuel lines for the vapor. But we got rid of most of the rest. The steering box I didn't touch, but the frame rails, all that used to be rust, so we put some rust bullet on it and then some black paint on this one as well as on the front frame rails. So only thing I gotta do is get that dowel pin out and then wait on the oil pan, and she's ready to get dropped in the engine bay. What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while. I've had a broken phone. So we are back on the truck. Let me show you where we're at. I mean, pretty much I just finished buttoning everything up, other than obviously the hood and the front end. The only thing that I have left to do to crank this baby over is connect the battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna see what happens. here we go. Now we've gotten the front end put on, all the plastic trims, the hood, front bumper. I've put in 200 miles on the motor and she's been doing good. Just fixing the last couple kinks. The only really problem that we had was an exhaust leak with the aftermarket exhaust. The mid pipe connecting bank 1 and bank 2 wasn't quite long enough, so I am doing some welding on that. And then the truck will be ready for the customer to pick up. So let's get working on the welding on the exhaust. So this is the section that isn't quite long enough. This end needs another inch and a quarter maybe, so I'm gonna add an inch and a quarter. But instead of taking my new pipe and welding just an inch and a quarter on and then having to weld the grind the weld down flat so that it will fit in, I'm going to cut it back 7 inches and then cut the new piece at 8 1/4 inches, weld the one connection here, and then it'll just be an inch and a quarter longer. So I've marked this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the new piece and test fit it in the truck to make sure it slips in my joint, and then we're gonna go ahead and cut this off and weld it. All right, and just like that, we've got the welding done. Here's the piece that I welded on. Here's my welds. They're not perfect, but they're not worst for like the first time with this welder on stainless steel. And there's the old piece. So see, I ended up going with about an 1 3/4 extra instead of an 1 1/4. I figured it would be easier to, if I needed to, you know, cut 1/2 inch off of this piece, versus if I needed more, I'd have to cut my weld off and weld on a whole new section. So I gave myself some extra to work with. So we're gonna see how she fits in the truck. Alrighty, and I just wanted to do a finish up conclusion, kind of give you an update on the motor. We have about 300-ish miles on it and it's doing good. The only problems we had were with the NOx sensors and the oil pressure sensor. The oil pressure sensor was a cheap one and it ended up blowing through because of the high volume oil pump, and I had just straight 30 weight in it. So after the first 50 miles we changed it to VR1 1030 and put an OEM oil pressure sensor in it, and then put OEM NOx sensors and the OEM harness in it. That fixed those issues. And then the only other small issue we had is one of the roller rocker arms that we put in was hitting the valve cover for cylinder 8. It was the intake valve or exhaust valve, I can't remember which one, but just one of the rockers was just hitting one of the little nubs on the inside of the valve cover. So I just shaved that down a little bit and that solved that. As you guys saw, we were able to extend the pipe on the center section of the exhaust and that fixed that. We got that all to line up. Customer's happy with it. Only reason it's still here is we do have some other issues. We are going to put some grip tape down on these 2 spots where the plastic steps have broke off, and he has it done on the other side, but we're gonna rip these off. That one's kind of ripped off, and replace these, as well as he has his passenger side window seals are leaking. So I have the rear one, I'm waiting on the driver one to come in. It's ordered, and then we're gonna be doing both of those. But that's all that's left on the truck. But the motor swap is all finished and good. Just wanted to give you all an update on that. Let me go get the keys and pop the hood, and I'll show you what it looks like underneath the hood, and we'll get a cold start for you. And here's what we have underneath the hood. So we obviously have the cold air intake that we added, the brand new motor with its stickers. We have the headers with them wrapped. This side was a pain in the butt, to say the least. Much as it looks easier than the other side, oh man. Over here, same thing. got the headers wrapped. It did end up burning a little bit of this boot for the steering shaft, but nothing crazy. I think it's done wearing now, so just be aware of that if you do want to do something like this. We were missing a ground strap. That ground strap right there was connected there, but it was never connected to the back of the head. So we were having a charging issue where the battery would die, like sometimes overnight, sometimes over just 2 days. That was another issue we solved with that, and I cleaned all the ground connections and just all the connections in general, and it's been sitting for, I think, almost a week right here in this spot, and we're about to see if that problem is for sure solved. So let's go get a cold start. As I'm sure you just heard, it fired right up after sitting for a week, so I'd say we have that problem fixed, the battery drain issue. Just wanted to give you a quick look at the dash here. So we got good oil pressure sitting right there at 70, just about, well, 60, 58, 60. No check engine light on. Seatbelt light's on because I don't have my seatbelt on, and the airbag light is another issue that we have to figure out, but she runs good, no issues. Customer's happy. That's a wrap on the motor job. And we're done with that one. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please ask any questions that you have in the comments. And please check out my business page, Twisted Frame Dynamics LLC. And refer people if you would kindly do that, please. Thank you.